that y'all may have. So again, if you have a question, make sure you drop it. Ooh, make sure I get myself situated over here. Okay. So I know I'm broadcasting to YouTube. All right. There go my peoples. Something was going on. Woo. Well, first of all, let me say why everybody's trying to come in the room still. Um, I hope you guys did not freeze too much. I hope you guys are okay. If you're here, that means you still got a purpose. Okay. So that's why you are here this evening. So hopefully you're going to get something out of this. Hey, Wendy, how are you? Hopefully you're definitely going to, well, I know, hopefully, I know you guys are going to get something out of this. So I'm not even worried. I just want to get as many of you in here before we start. So I know it's been a little time change. So let me see. Hey, Amy, how are you? Hey, Marnie, how are you? Okay, now I'm seeing some of my folks. Well, I'll just ask a couple general questions. Have you guys filed your taxes yet? Okay. IRS has open early. Okay. Hey, Jody. IRS has definitely opened and has processed some a batch of individuals' taxes. So I don't know if you guys have filed early, but some individuals have already gone through that e-filing process. So if you filed early, your taxes may already have been accepted at the IRS. Just as an FYI to anybody. Okay. All right. Not yet on tax. Okay, cool. Not yet on taxes. All right. Okay, good. All right. Well, let me start off by saying that that the IRS. Hey, Stormy Days, how you doing? That the IRS did open up last Wednesday. Okay. And the reason I know is because I woke up to a lot of rejections. There were a lot of things that were that people seem to forget every year. A lot of people tend to forget, and I don't want you guys to forget if you had Obamacare. Okay, so if you had Obamacare, any type of health care with the health marketplace, then please make sure you have your 1095. The IRS is always going to reject if you don't have it included. But one of the new eras that's going on right now, and this may affect some of y'all, some of you guys are going to reject because of not having that form or not putting those numbers in when you did not get insurance at all. It's a little error that's going on with the IRS. Healthcare.gov said today that they are getting a lot of calls from people whose taxes have rejected. And again, y'all sharing tax is somebody. I appreciate you guys support. You know, I only go live on TikTok and YouTube. I used to do Facebook, but Facebook ain't cutting no checks, so it just don't make no sense. Okay. So anyway, the IRS is having an error right now. So if some of you got rejected because it's saying you had health care and you know that you didn't, then you're just going to have to wait until they fix it, and then they'll be able to e-file your taxes again. Okay. So that's just something that's going on. So for you guys to be aware of. All right. No problem. Marnie said, what did Marnie say? Marnie said she's good. She says, thank you a million again for the time and information. No W-2 yet. You guys are more than welcome. Believe you me, I do this 24/7. I swear I talk to y'all all day long, answering questions. And you guys make me better. So I appreciate that. So no, thank you guys very, very much. All right. Because I can't go through all of these experiences. Some of y'all have to share that with me. So when you guys share something with me, I turn around and give it to the next person so they know. So if you just tuning in really quick, I just wanted to say, I hope you guys didn't freeze. I hope you guys are okay. You have power, water, all those good things. First thing, like I said, the IRS is having an error right now. So if some of you get rejected for not having medical insurance, or the number, the form, the 1095C, don't worry, they're gonna fix it. Okay. Let's see what's the next thing. So the IRS, there was an article that came out today that stated that a couple things. One, the IRS is backlogged. So I know last week we talked about a lot of y'all saying you guys did not or have not received your tax refunds when you amended, or if you did something last year, you still haven't received it. So This ain't good news, but the IRS is basically saying that they are behind because, get this, of identity theft. Okay, so we definitely gonna talk about identity theft tonight again, so I can tell y'all what y'all need to do. Okay, because if the IRS is saying this is why they can't pay you your refunds, is because they can't tell who the real person is or not. It's pretty dang on bad. Okay, and I'll give you guys an example because you know I always like to give you an example so that it drives home the point. I did someone's taxes last week, and yes, I do taxes for those who end up asking me later. And as soon as she submitted to get her advance, um, the bank automatically rejected because it said it had already paid an advance. And so I'm thinking, oh, this girl trying to play me, probably out here doing multiple applications trying to get the money. So I'm like, yo, you filing taxes with somebody else and you made me do all this work? And she was like, no, I didn't file no taxes. And I'm like, I don't believe you. So I ended up giving her the number to the bank. She called and the bank verified that, yes, we already paid out in advance and it was not to her. Come to find out, now that the IRS opened up on Wednesday, like I told you guys, the IRS even stated that they rejected the e-file because her taxes had already been filed earlier. So when I talk about this identity theft stuff that I'm talking about, I'm not just talking about it because it's fun and exciting. It's good to, I mean, all it is, it's exciting, all these new ways that people are doing things. But I tell you guys these stories because it can be you. Okay. And I'm going to give y'all an example when I get to it of how close to home that it really hits. Okay. So you guys need to protect yourselves at all costs because the economy isn't going to get better. It's just going to get worse. And when economy is bad and people can't get a job, or if they don't want to get a job, thanks COVID, what do? They steal. Okay. And they ain't stealing like running up to you taking your purse no more. Okay. That those days are over. Not saying that they won't, but they will. But it's easier to sit right behind this computer like I'm doing right now and take all your money out your bank account. And that is exactly what it is that they're doing. Okay. So IRS is basically saying that, hey, for 2023, our goal, excuse me, not 2023, in 2022, our goal was to get more people on the phones so that there weren't a lot of people waiting to talk to us. And so because of they took all the tax employees and put them to answer the phones versus actually doing y'all taxes, that's another reason that they're late. So they're late due to identity theft and they're not knowing who to necessarily pay because the person who probably should not have filed first. And then the other reason is they were trying to take care of you guys and get you on answer your questions by phone that they didn't even have time to go and actually process your dang on taxes. Okay. So if you have not gotten your refund from last year and you are still waiting, then you are in this group of people that I'm talking about. If anybody's interested in reading the article, I mean, it's a lot of other things, but those were the two biggest things. So basically, they're running 19 months behind. So that's a little over a year and a half. So I'm not saying it's going to take you that long, but if you did something last tax season, you probably will be waiting again until this end of this tax season before you probably actually receive your money. Okay. So sorry, but that's what's going on. All right. Let me see. My viewership on TikTok is very, very low tonight. YouTube, I'm used to it because people go back and watch it later. But TikTok, I'm very surprised, and I would not be surprised if they're not trying to mess with the algorithm. But it's okay. Okay. Um, I'm gonna get my just due. You guys watch. All right. So, okay. So Wendy says she believes they mailed me the healthcare form. So let me give y'all this a little sidebar. So if you have not received your 1095C, I'm telling you, I already told you your taxes will not go through. You can just go to healthcare.gov and there's an 800 number right at the bottom just scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. Just call them, verify it's you, and they will send you another copy. I don't know how many times, we have to do that with people. I mean, I don't know where they're mailing them to the first time, but I can promise you, even if you think they're going to mail it, ain't nothing wrong with taking 5 minutes of your time and have them send you another one so you know it's on its way. Okay, that is something that happens a lot with that 1095C. All right, so if you know you've been on the insurance, please make sure that you put that you file that with your taxes. Okay. All right. So again, y'all drop your questions if y'all have any questions, and I'm just gonna go through all the other stuff that I wrote down for the night. Okay. Let's see. Waiting on W-2s, your interest forms, and healthcare forms. Okay, good. And Bobby, hey Bobby. Thank you very, very much. That I'm not people ain't missing out. They gonna all things will happen in this right time. Okay. So just a recap of stuff that's been going on. I told you guys last week that the SBA is giving you guys until March 3rd, March 3rd, 1, 2, 3, to figure out what you're gonna do with your payments for your SBA loans, the EIDL loans. Okay. There are still people, and I'm surprised, that have not filed forgiveness with the PPP. So I put the video up last week, and someone gave me a call and said, man, my mama got the PPP like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, however long it's been, and she still hasn't filed forgiveness, and we can't track down the bank. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you cannot find, if that is you, or if this is somebody that you know, okay, one, put them on to me. I appreciate y'all. But two, all they have to do is look up their loan online. It is public record. Okay. So they could just put their name or their business name, whichever way they applied for that PPP loan. All they got to do is put their name or their business name and then put PPP loan after it in Google. And it will bring you to any one of those websites that keep track of your information, and it will tell you the bank you got the loan from. Why? Because people don't keep paperwork, and a lot of folks had individuals doing applications for them, and they didn't receive the email because it all went to the person that did it. So if you have a PPP loan and you've been avoiding it because you're scared and don't know what to do, please don't let this be you. I would hate to see PPP loans all over people's credit. And I definitely believe it's going to go that way. Okay. So please get your loans forgiven if you got the PPP and you haven't. And for the SBA EIDL loan, you can do hardship. They are giving you 6 to 9 months hardship, where they will lower your payments down to as small as $25 a month. Okay. I don't care if you get on the plan and then stop paying them and then wait until they start threatening again and then start over. Okay. Because the government is, if anybody you could play around with paying them their money sometime and then not, is the government. But everybody else, we don't want to do that. And the reason why people play with the government is because the government doesn't report on an actual credit report. So people tend to take it lightly. So I'm not telling you to take it lightly, but I am saying do something by March 3rd, because if you haven't filed your taxes, like I said, they are coming for your tax returns first. Okay. They're going to come for the tax returns first. If you're getting Pell Grant, guess what? They'll reduce it. They ain't gonna reduce the student loan portion, but they will reduce that Pell Grant because that's their money they're giving you. Student loan that's their money too, but you get they earn interest from you, so they are not gonna reduce the student loan, but they will do the other things. Okay. What's the 1095C is the healthcare form. If you have Obamacare, if you ever got some insurance from the marketplace, that is the form they give you showing that's the form they give you showing how much they paid to help cover your premiums. Okay. So when you look at that, when you see the 1095, and some of y'all probably don't even know what y'all looking at because nobody probably explained it to you. But when you look at that 1095C form, it's columns A, B, and C. But those are basically the premium tax that they cover for you. And they want you to just account for it. Okay. It don't change your tax return any. But they want you to account for it because they paid. They want to make sure that you receive this form and you are acknowledging that they paid by putting it onto your taxes as well. Okay. So that's basically all that is. Mariah Lynn says, have they started back letting people apply for the SBA? You could always apply for the SBA. What you cannot apply for is the EIDL loan, because that is an emergency loan and there is no emergency right now. Only places that get hit with storms or tornadoes, they will open up the EIDL loan for those individuals, like a disaster loan. But you can always apply for the SBA. The reason why people haven't or usually don't apply for SBA loans is because, well, your business probably isn't set up right. Your credit, you have to show that your business is making money. It's nowhere, you're probably never going to see it easy like it was this time during COVID. They just relaxed a lot of rules and let everybody in. Whereas traditionally, it's kind of difficult to get an SBA loan. But if you are trying to get an SBA loan, they're called 7A loans, seven, and then the lowercase a loans. Those are usually, that's the most popular one. Is the 7A loan. They have other ones. I think they're even harder to get. But if you're interested, you can go and look up a 7A loan and see the requirements. A lot of people don't do it. Okay. Uh, what else? What else? What else? Still, guys, the BOI form, okay, where you can go and put in your business and for fencing. Now, I'm gonna tell you one of the stories I'm gonna tell y'all today. I was thinking to myself, I said, this is exactly why they're doing BOI, because people are just running amok and running and messing up the game. And I'm gonna get to that later, but I just want to let y'all know, I'm saying it, even though it is required, I am not filling out that form until the very last day. You do whatever you want to. I know the government changes their minds and rules change a lot, so I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to be jumping into something right away. If they're giving me the option to do something by a certain date, well, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just do it by that last date that I possibly can. But y'all do whatever y'all want. Okay. If you're on TikTok, make sure you hit the like button and share, because, like I said, this viewership is awfully low, and I don't know what TikTok got going on, but I ain't worried about it because the word and the message is still gonna get out there. Okay. Let me see. Bar's defense. For those of you, I'm still surprised how many people have not gotten the list to see if your school's on the list and to actually do the application, or at least be aware that your student loans should be discharged. A lot of y'all have sent me screenshots showing me your NailNet page where it says you have an amount of student loans that you owe, but it says that you don't have to pay any money until like 2 years from now. If that's you, do not just go by that screen. Get on the phone with those people to make sure it is not an error. Okay. It could be that your loans are frozen because NailNet is having issues with how they calculated these loans and y'all amounts. So maybe they're blocking you from making your payment. Or well, it could be a lot of reasons, but I want you to know why it says that for you. And that's what a lot of people who have NailNet, and if you guys do have NailNet and you haven't logged onto your account, you probably want to. You will see what I am talking about. It'll show how much you owe. It'll show that you have no payment due until 2 years or so from now. And these people are not even on a hardship plan. So you need to go and look, and don't be saying, well, it said I didn't owe no money. No. Okay. Because again, they're not taking your loans for they're not taking your refunds for student loans, but in 12 months are gonna pass. How many months have passed? It's already been some months now. 12 months are gonna go fast, and next thing you know, they're gonna be reporting those back onto your credit. Remember, they only gave us 12 months of no reporting for student loans. 12 months. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say I think we 3 months in. We might be. Okay. So and I'll get that so I know the exact number, but that time goes by fast. You know why? Because now we're focusing on SBA and PPP. It's tax season. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. You tend to forget. All right. So make sure you know why you're not supposed to make no payments instead of just going by what they say, because they will not have your back when it's time to pay. Okay. Y'all know I'll be trying to rap over here. Okay. Let's see. She says, I read that BOIs are, hold on, let me see what y'all saying. I read that BOIs are not required for sole proprietors. BOIs are not required for sole proprietors, but you do need to understand what sole proprietor means in your state. If I am Shamika and who I am for real, but if I operate as Shamika Saves and I did not create an LLC, this is what I do, Shamika Saves. I don't have no paperwork. All I did was fill out a fictitious name or a doing business as name. That is considered a sole proprietor. Okay. That is just you acting as somebody else without actually forming a business, or operating under another name without actually forming a business. Those people do not have to do BOIs. But if you paid for an LLC, an S corporation, or a C corporation, which is also known as a regular corporation, you have to fill out the form. And if I ain't mistaken, after COVID, so many people owned LLCs. So a lot of people have them. So if you have an LLC, you actually created your business and paid money to the Secretary of State, you are the ones that have to fill out that BOI form. Okay. And before anybody asks, it doesn't matter if you have a trust or not. Trusts have to they have to fill out the form too, because they are a form of a business, so they have to also fill out that same form. Okay. They're not letting people escape it. Now, if you are not going to continue your business, you're going to let your business shut down sometime this year, you do not have to fill out the form. But everybody else, we're going to be filling out the form. Okay. All right, let me see what y'all saying. Make sure I ain't missing nothing. Letitia says, "What is an EFIN and how do I get one?" An EFIN. All right. Well, in order to break it down for everybody, so y'all know, when she said an EFIN, and that's EFIN. Y'all know what y'all SSN. Y'all know that's y'all social security number. Y'all know what EIN. That's the number you get when you have a business, so you can pay your employees or file taxes under it. Then we have a P10, PTIN. That is what I told you guys, that y'all need to make sure that individuals who are filing your taxes, you need to make sure they have one, because if something happens, you want the IRS to see that you paid somebody. That's what the P stands for, paid preparer. Okay. So if you paying somebody and they don't have a P10, you basically gave your money away to somebody that's not going to stand in the paint with you in the event something goes bad. Okay, so that is what a P10 is. And remember, the P stands for paid, because you're paying them. Okay. And then there is an EFIN, EFIN. That is one step above a P10. That is for individuals who have their own tax business, and you do have to have a P10, but you pass a suitable background check with the IRS, and basically you have the right to buy software and actually e-file individuals' returns. So if you are using actual software, not TurboTax, okay, for example, I use real software, I have to pay for it. So I have a EFIN. So that EFIN allows me to be able to purchase that software, and also to be able to transmit individuals' returns. Okay. Not everybody can transmit returns through actual software if they don't have an EFIN. Now, if you working and somebody gave you a login, you are using their EFIN to transmit returns. Okay. So to get an EFIN, it's a bit of a process, but a part of it is you can't have no felonies, and they do a background check. And you need to protect that EFIN. Okay, because let me tell you, now y'all know it's always fraud associated with something, but let me tell you what people do, because y'all know I'll be knowing. Now, people get an EFIN. What they usually do is they get their cousins or somebody who doesn't have a record to get the EFIN. Okay, and then they operate under the other individual's EFIN, and they go and do all kind of stuff to people's taxes, give them all kind of credits they don't need, get them all these super high large tax refunds, and the money comes back, because IRS usually pays in the very beginning. They're not looking at your tax returns as hard in February like they are in April. Okay. So these people do all this illegal stuff under somebody else's EFIN, and then next thing you know, if the IRS comes back, who are they looking for? Not the person who actually did the returns. They're coming back to the person that owns the EFIN. So, if anybody ever asks you to get an EFIN for them, you better figure out why, or if you trust that person, because you are going to be responsible if something happens and they do a lot of illegal stuff. That is one big thing that people do. They do it a lot in Miami. That's one reason why one year is this business, but the same people. Then next year is another business, but it's the same people working there, because all they did was close down the other one because the EFIN shut down, and now they're opening up somewhere else under the new EFIN. Okay. So just be mindful of that. And thank you very much. Amy says for y'all to like and share. And if you're here on TikTok, make sure you hit the like button and share and all that good stuff too, because I'm dropping gems always. And I feel like every single thing that I say is something that everybody needs to know if they don't know. Okay. And that's not me toot my horn. This is just facts. And you're just not gonna get it explained to you in the way that I do. Okay. So boom, boom. It's just not gonna happen. Okay. So let me see what's going on. Okay. So Letitia, if you need more help, hit me up. But that's how you do the process of the EFA. Wendy says, question, I have two daughters, adult age, but college students with part-time jobs. Does this apply as dependents? As long as you are still taking care of them, Miss Wendy, then yes, they are dependents. But since they work, they can also file their own taxes. And if y'all watch me all the time, y'all know this is probably one of the biggest misconstrued things ever when it comes down to claiming dependents. Parents are so scared to let the child file their own taxes and claim them as a dependent. It is not illegal and you are allowed to do it. But here's the trick. The child needs to file their taxes first because, listen to me, Miss Wendy, because your daughters need to check a box saying that they can, CAN, that they can be claimed as a dependent on somebody else's taxes. Okay. Once they do that, they can complete the rest of their taxes and submit it. And then you file and you add those daughters. So the point of them checking that box is to let the IRS know to expect to see their social again in e-filing because somebody else is going to claim them. So yes, if they're your regular dependent normally, they work, you could still claim them as a dependent and they can file their own taxes. Okay. All right, let me see if y'all asking anything before I go on. Thank you very much. Y'all ain't gonna believe I got this from the doggone $10 store. It came with a pair of matching earrings. And I'm trying to think of the name of it right now. I love that store too. It's gonna come to me. But thank you very much. I do. I love denim very, very much. You're sending me a meeting request. Well, thank you. And again, if y'all want to have consultations, y'all want to holler at your girl, just go to my website, shamikasaves.com, and we could talk. I know a lot of y'all don't like to put y'all personal business out here, and I do understand that. Okay. So let me see. So we talked about the 1095Cs. I told y'all the IRS was open already. I told you the IRS is slowing down on processing your returns. Matter of fact, they said as of December 2023, there were 1.5 million tax returns that they still have not processed. So you are in that group of people if you have not gotten your return yet. We talked about the borrower's defense. You guys make sure you do that application. And I'm not going to lie, I want y'all to at least tell 3 people, okay, about this borrower's defense, because this is what's going to happen. If you don't make sure that you are in the number, you might be stuck with loans, and then you're going to be like these people that I see on the news where it took them 25 years and then the government was like, oh shoot, we missed you, and then they want to give them a forgiveness, but the loan had got so high, they've been stressed out, they can't get nothing because it's killing the utilization on their credit. So we don't want to have somebody have to go through that pain. Make sure that they know that they have an option to get these loans removed. Okay. All right, let me move on. And then I got something good to tell y'all too. All right, so let's talk about this child tax credit. Thank you, Rich Rick. He said I'm to go. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's see. Marnie says, what about a person who is on SSDI and they work part-time? If you are on SSDI and you work part-time, that is a very, very good question. Okay. Now y'all know I tell you all the time, I want everybody to file a tax return, even if they are not getting a refund, because you need to protect your social security number. Okay. And we're going to talk about that in a second as to why it is very, very important. Fraud is going to be the number one thing. Fraud and domestic violence are going to be the 2 biggest things that the government, the state going to be fighting domestic violence, and the federal government going to be fighting fraud. Those are going to be 2 of the biggest. Now listen to me. Y'all know most of the time, I ain't gonna say most of the time, almost all the time, I come out right. Thank you, God. But those are going to be 2 very, very big things that they are not going to be able to fight. It is wrong. It's already running rampant now. So you know, I have to tell the elderly people this all the time. Like, look, I know you ain't never had to do this before, but it ain't gonna take you nothing but 5 minutes to print and sign and put that thing in the mail so that the IRS knows that you are filing your own returns and somebody is not getting paid under your number. All right. So what about a person who has SSDI? Yes, I think you should file taxes. And if you work part-time, you are you're allowed to do that. Here is how you determine what you need to do. Now, yes, you need to file anyway, but if you work part-time and you don't pay any taxes out of your check, you will not get a refund. You are still going to have the $0 refund, because most people who have Social Security disability, they do not take taxes out because you don't have to pay them. Okay, unless you just want to get a refund every year. I do know people who do that. They know they don't have to pay taxes out of their Social Security, but they do, so that when they file taxes, they can get it back. Same thing if you work part-time. So if you work part-time and you make less than your standard deduction, remember the smallest standard deduction is for a single person, that is $19,400. So I tell my clients, hey, if you made less than 20 grand, and that depends on your filing status. But if you made less than 20 grand, you don't even have to pay taxes out of your check. But if you did, Marnie, if you did pay taxes out of your check, and I'm not Social Security, not Medicare, just federal, then you should file so that you can get that money back. Okay. But if you make less than that, you don't even have to pay taxes anyway. Because remember, the standard deduction is there to protect that first $20,000 you earn. The government won't tax you on it. So that's why you don't have to have taxes taken out. Somebody actually sent that to me. She showed me that she made 24,000, but she was head of household. So by her being head of household, she only had to get taxed on maybe $2,000-3,000, and the rest was not taxable. So I had to explain, because a lot of y'all don't understand the standard deduction and how it works for you. It works. Okay. So as long as you know your filing status, there's a number that goes along with your filing status that the government won't tax you on. And anything above that, they will. Okay. So standard deduction is important. Remember, taxes can be fun, y'all. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else y'all saying? Yes, you could do both. What type of loan you talking about, Lenise? I want to make sure I didn't miss you. It says both the parent and child get credit for the college student. No. Um, uh, what happens is, if the child is going to file taxes, this is for the American Opportunity Credit. So this is for anybody that has kids. If your child is filing their own taxes, then you should file the 1098T form that they get from school. That should be filed on their taxes, because it has their name on it. If they are not filing taxes, then you, the parent, can file it on your taxes. Two people cannot take the same credit. Okay. And the only reason you are filing the 1098T is to get the American Opportunity Credit or the Lifetime Learning Credit. And remember, the American Opportunity Credit is the only one that pays. The other one don't give you nothing, but you should take the credit anyway. Okay. All right. The child tax credit bill. So now I know y'all been seeing all these videos. TikTok been blowing up. Y'all been messaging me like crazy. And I'm going to say the same thing that I say all the time. Y'all know I do not like to talk about stuff if it's not real. Okay. So if somebody put a bill out there, and right now it's in the it's just in the house, and it's not made into law, to me it's not real. It becomes real when it is signed into law. And the reason why I don't waste my time talking about these things is because I don't like to get y'all excited about the what ifs, and then it don't go through, and then you're mad or you're sad. Okay. So to me, it's a waste of energy. All right. So, but just to let y'all know what's going on. Okay. There's a lot of parts to it, but of course, the part y'all care about the most is increasing your child tax credit part. Okay. So, a lot of y'all don't, a lot of y'all get the child tax credit. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot, not that many. I don't feel like a lot of people get it. Okay. Um, uh, some people don't even have their kids in daycare. Some of your kids are too old, like they have to be 17 and younger. They need to be your actual dependent. You got to make sure you meet the income requirement. A lot of you do, but a lot of you are shocked that you may only walk away with $200 or $300 of the child tax credit. Okay. So right now the child tax credit, at the maximum credit is $2,000, but it only will refund you up to 1,600. So a lot of times y'all see 1,600 and y'all think, oh, I'm gonna get 1,600 per child. No, it doesn't. And the IRS bases a lot of stuff off of how much money you make, and then and then it's prorated. Okay, so sometimes you're not even going to see that high amount. I don't even think I have seen two people get the full 1,600 per child, but a lot of other people, they got much less than that. All right, but with the bill, they are trying to raise it. So instead of you getting the max of 1,600, you can get the max of 1,800. Okay. So yes, that's $200 more per child, which is great. But what they don't tell y'all in these advertisements, because they're trying to get y'all all excited, is a lot of you aren't going to even get 1,800 anyway. Now, if you have already filed your taxes, please go to page 2 of your 1040, and the 1040 is going to be in the top left hand corner. Go to the second page and you will see your earned income tax credit amount, and you will see your child tax credit amount. So that way you won't have to believe me. You can go and look for yourself to see what you received. If you got the full 1,600 times however many children you got, great. If you didn't, then it's a breakdown. Hopefully the tax preparer gave you all your sheets when they printed out, but there's a breakdown to tell you why you got the amount that you have. Okay, so they're trying to get it to 1,800 if the bill is passed for this year, 1,900 for 2024 if the bill is passed, and then in 2025, 2,000 if the bill is passed. But here is the joke: the bill is probably not gonna pass. Okay, that's what they're also not telling you. It is going to be. Now remember, it's election season. Okay, and when it's election season, there are gonna be a whole lot of bills they're gonna throw out there. They're gonna throw them out there because they want to. And make sure y'all hit the like button and share all that good stuff. They're gonna do it because they need your vote. So you need to see who put in this bill. Was it a Democrat? Now, I'm not into politics like that. I really don't care. I think they all are bad personally. But you got to vote for whoever has your best interest at heart. Okay, because we still have a responsibility to vote. Okay, but I'm not a fool either. I know it's election season. If y'all don't know, it's election season. We will be voting this November, so you are going to see a lot of stuff come across your TV screen on TikTok that you could get this $6,300. Somebody just sent it to me before I went on live. You could get 63. There is no $6,300, y'all. It's not. Yeah, y'all got videos with Cardi B saying it, videos out there with Sexy Red saying it. It's not real, okay? And then two, we don't even know if this bill is going to pass. It only is in the House. It still has to go to the Senate. And even if it goes to the Senate, they can make recommendations of changes that they want before it is signed, which is another reason why I don't talk about things, because the bill could be very different after it's signed. Okay, there's a lot of push and shove and give and take when it comes to politics. Okay, people trying to protect their jobs. They want to make sure they can be voted in again in their state. They want to be voted in. Of course, Joe Biden want to be voted in, so they're gonna push a lot of stuff. So please, as somebody had made a post saying that tax preparers aren't trying to tell anybody any information about this, and it's like, well, I can't speak for nobody else, but I'm not gonna waste my time because the information is going to change. So until it becomes an actual thing, we ain't talking about it. Okay, we're going to talk about what it is right now, because when they do your tax refund, they ain't basing it on them numbers of the what if. They're basing your tax refund on these numbers right now, and these are the numbers that are important to you. Okay, let me see. Hold on, let me make sure I didn't miss nothing. Okay, I don't like the way TikTok be doing these things. And what time is it? Okay, 7:3. Okay. All right, because I'm gonna get into these identity theft things in a minute. Yes, it's absolutely campaign promises. That's why I'm not and I'm not gonna tell nobody who to vote for. Do whatever you want. But y'all know who it's coming down to again. Y'all know it's coming down to Trump and Biden again. Thank God DeSantis didn't. He quit. Hopefully He will leave Florida too. So, but it's gonna come down to them too. So y'all gonna have to buckle up and get ready, and y'all gonna have to vote in your best interest. All right. But you cannot be swayed by all of these bills, because I don't care about a bill. Okay. Unless, hold on, unless it's a dollar bill. Okay. But other than that, it needs to be a law. And until it becomes all is signed into law, it's not important to me. All right. Now they can try a lot of stuff. You know, y'all should pay attention to what your people from your state are voting for when it comes to these bills. See if the people from your state are agreeing to do this child tax credit increase or not. Because I can tell you right now, Florida and Ohio are the two states so far that it might be Iowa. I think it's Iowa. They chose not to be a part of the food stamp program in the summer. So, which gives kids, the ability to eat when they're not in school, because people be hungry out here and these parents ain't doing their job. But those two states said no. So those things affect you if you live in those states. So we got to pay attention to those type of voting too. Okay, not just who's running for the president, but don't be running after these bills, because it's not there. See, South Carolina opted out too. It's very sad. I think it's stupid. Now, don't get me wrong. Anytime the federal government gives states money, there's a price tag that the state does have to pay. Now, that is what goes on the back room that y'all do not know. And a lot of these states said the reason they're opting out is because they don't want to have to pay the large fee that they have to pay back to the government for providing these programs. They feel like they have enough money in their own state that they can provide a similar service to give food to their constituents. I don't know. We'll have to see. Unfortunately, I would hate to be a child in those states and be hungry and have to wait on these rich folks to decide if I'm going to eat or not. But it is crazy. Okay. Marnie says, can you claim them as a dependent? Who, Marnie? Let me know who you're talking about. Okay. Amy says, if you got your loans forgiven, what's the tax form you are looking for from the government? I forgot the number. If you got your tax form, if you got your student loans forgiven, or if you settled a debt with a credit card company, okay, especially if you settled for less than the amount. So you owe $1,000 bill, but you settled to pay them for $400, then you will receive what is called a 1099-C. The C stands for cancellation of debt. So if your loans got forgiven, then it is possible that you will receive a 1099-C to report that, because they are stating that some states are going to have some people might be taxed because their state probably is going to make them pay for their loans being forgiven, which I think is also stupid. I haven't read anything yet. No one's contacted me and told me that yet. But if you stay in a state that has state tax, that is supposedly what some of you may experience. Okay, so if that happens to you, let me know, because I want to be able to do a video on that. All right. Okay. All right, so let's get into ID, these types of ID theft really quick. And this is the last thing I got for y'all in case y'all got any questions. So I didn't even know they had different names for this, because to me it was all identity theft. But here goes these categories. So they have financial identity theft. Financial identity theft is when an individual steals your credit card. Okay, so y'all know I have to drop these stories. Okay, I knew somebody that one time they found a credit card on the ground, but because they had the Square app, and you remember how the Square app used to give you the thing that clicks in and you can just swipe. So what they did was, because it's a credit card, they swiped it and they put in whatever amount. And a lot of times that's what people do when they steal your credit cards. They have to go and try different amounts to see how much is going to get approved for, and they just swipe and they make these purchases on your dime. Okay, so they consider that to be financial identity theft. Another financial identity theft too is, you guys know, when people give other individuals the opportunity to cash a check through their bank account and it's a fake check, and then the person gets locked out of the bank. That is one. But here goes one that is rising, and this is why I was telling you that I believe this is another reason why they're doing this BOI, because people now are defrauding the bank in a very neat way, if you ask me. Okay, but basically what they're doing is they are going and they are finding closed businesses. Okay, so for you guys who are not going to do the BOI because you're going to let your business close, what people are doing is they are finding closed businesses. on the Secretary of State website because, yes, it's public record. And then what do? They pay the fee to reinstate the business. And once you reinstate the business, you can make edits. You can add a new president, a new vice president, new members, whatever you want to do. So that's what they're doing. They're putting fake members on there. But where are the members coming from? They're stealing your information and making you the owner of these businesses, and you don't even know. So here goes the tip, y'all. Go on the Secretary of State and check yourself out just to see if somebody is created a business and using your information. Now, the reason why you will want to do this is because these things don't hit your credit report. So you won't even know somebody stole your information until it's already gone. Okay. So they are creating these businesses, putting new people in down, and these businesses that they are stealing, not creating, they are a car dealership businesses. Okay. And then what they do is the perpetrator that created that put you down for as the owner of the car dealership, they then go to the bank with a fake ID, and then they apply for a car loan, or they can go down to the bank as them real self if they want to, as their real self, and apply for an auto loan. Once the bank pay or approves them for the loan, they ask, can they get the money in a cashier's check, and they make it out to the same business that they just paid to activate. You know, the one that they put you guys as the managers, okay? But they said, hey, I'm gonna buy the car from Marnie Motors. Marnie, that's a little name now, Marnie Motors, okay? And they go and open up a bank account with Marnie's information, okay? With Marnie's, they stole it and opened it up with her information, and then they have that cashier's check that they got from the loan that they applied for, and they just cash it into Marnie's fake account that they have control over, and now they have the money. So they got approved for the loan, put the money in an account that they own, and so basically what they did was just pay themselves under other people's names. It happens, and I'm gonna make a video on it on I think I'm gonna do it on YouTube this time. But there's a couple just arrested yesterday. They got over $800,000 in auto loans, and they did it the way I'm telling you guys right now. It's so easy. You know, I got to read the report so I can see how they did it. And then I went myself to see. And I told you, $200 is what it costs to basically reinstate a business, edit, change the name. To open a bank account is free. You just have to have the right credentials to be able to do it, which is fake driver's license, all that good stuff. And no, you don't have to have a friend at the DMV. People make them, okay? And then they go to the bank, apply, get approved, cash it in that same account. Boom. They got the debit card. Now they're going shopping on your dime under your name. Okay. That's a financial identity theft. Let me get to my next one. Medical identity theft. Now I was thinking never heard about it, but I never heard that term, but I have seen people do it. Got to give you guys another story. So medical identity theft is basically when somebody else gives your name when they go and get treatment at the doctor's. Okay. Now I remember this growing up. Young girls out there popping that thing at a young age. One of you have insurance, but the other one doesn't have insurance, and one person ended up getting an STI, and now it's like, dang, what are we gonna do? So you could do one or two things. You could go to the doctor, the one with the insurance, and lie and say you have a condition and ask them to give you the medication. But if it's an STI, they got to test you. So what were people doing? They were lying and sending in the other person that did not have insurance into one of those, and not the regular hospital. They would go into like those urgent care clinics and send them in to go and get treated under the other person's name. Okay. So I've seen people do it when they did it on purpose. Come to find out, people are doing it by stealing people's information and going and getting treated. Now, the only thing that's messed up about this is, well, of course you're lying. Okay. But we move it past that. Okay. But the other thing is now you have this in your records as something that's wrong with you. And that's not true. So if this is what people are doing, then the person who has the insurance needs to be careful, because now anytime a doctor makes recommendations on medications or treatments, it's going to be based off of their information and the person that did not have insurance information too. Okay, so people definitely do it. So you got to be careful about that. So what you guys need to do, because I got to tell you what to do. So we're not wasting our time talking about this. If you start receiving those bills, even if you're on Medicaid, they send you bills when you go to the doctor. I got Blue Cross Blue Shield. They send me a letter saying, hey, this is not a bill, but this is how much we paid and this is how much you owe. So if you're starting to receive notices like that and you didn't go to the doctor, that's a problem. Okay. So stop throwing away mail all the time that comes in. Somebody hit the like button. Stop throwing away mail because you don't want to read it while somebody out there stealing your information. Okay. Um, Synthetic ID. We talk about synthetic identification all the time. That's when people make the CPNs. That's when you use the half real information and half fake information. People who create CPNs, they do what we're talking about right here. They do the financial identity theft. They do the medical identity theft because they need identification in order to make these frauds work. Okay, so synthetic identity theft is really the biggest part of it all right, is what people are using. Synthetic can be half real, half fake, or it can be all fake by stealing somebody's information. And that leads me to the next one, which is when you have a child. Okay, you got these people that are coming, our borders is open right now, so all kind of people coming over here. Okay, I'm not saying that people don't deserve a chance, but those individuals should be applying for an I-10, not a CPN. Okay, and those type of people, because they may have a bad record or whatever the situation may be, they are going to come after your children's information, which leads me to child identity theft. Okay, you can steal somebody's information easy when they're a child because they're not going to know that it's stolen until they need credit, and that's when they're 18. So if you are well, me, I would do it. Okay, this is, y'all don't have to, but I think everybody needs to put a block on their children's credit. Why? Because your child isn't going to need any credit until they're 18 anyway. So why does it matter if you lock it up? At least nobody can use it. Okay, period. Nobody can use it. All right, that's it. That's the main thing. I got one more, and then I'm gonna look at y'all comments. And then the last one is the criminal identity theft, and I definitely have seen this done. Okay, I'm from Florida, all right. So I've definitely seen people get pulled over by the police, don't have a driver's license, and they ask you for your information, and you give them somebody else's name and address and birthday and all that because you know it, and it's usually the homeboy. And people will do it if the person's locked up, or they'll just do it because they nasty and they know your information. Okay, so in that regard, the only thing I can tell you to do is to protect your information as best you can, guys, because people are taking it. Your tax preparers, hey, especially if you got one that you don't trust, they could sell it for $200-300 and sell that information to somebody else who will do whatever, and they're gonna feel like, well, it wasn't me, I ain't do it. So, and people have that type of attitude. So if it's not necessary for me to put my whole number, do I have to put my full social? Because I just need to feel like I just need to put my last four, because you don't need all that information all the time. You really don't. Okay, if a doctor's office is making a copy of your social, why do I have to write it 15 times on this paper? I mean, yeah, and not this nothing against no CNAs, and I'm gonna see y'all comments after this, but this is one thing that I see the most. A lot of this identity theft is happening because of people that work in customer service positions, especially in doctor's offices. Okay, so if it's not needed, put your last four and keep it moving. Okay, and or use an address that use your mama address. Stop using y'all stuff all the time, especially if you're not expecting to get no mail there. Why not? Let this stuff not match up, so then when people try to steal your stuff, it's harder for them to get approved because the information don't match. Okay, so let me see what y'all saying over here. All right, PT says anyway to have the closed/old business removed from the state website. No, you cannot. It's public record. You can't remove it. I've seen businesses that's been up for 20 years still going. So no, they won't remove it. The only thing that you could do is monitor to make sure that nobody is using your name. Now they can steal the business name if your business name is not active no more. You just want to make sure that it's not your name being on a business that you know nothing about. Okay. Hey, PC, how are you? Okay, so let me see what y'all stand over here. I don't want to miss anything. All right, hold on. Let me go. A BOI is business ownership information. So basically, if you own a business, you now have to go to the FinCEN website and fill out and claim your business. Basically, all you're doing is disclosing that you are 50% or more, or well, 25%, they say. But if you are the primary owner of a business, you have to put down that this is you. Why? Because if something goes wrong, they do not want to have to jump through the hoops of trying to find out who owns what. You will have to, they'll be able to know that it's yours. Okay. Trash Girl says, Shamika, this means they can build business credit in your names. Absolutely. They can do whatever they want when they have your information. I'm going to tell you what happened to my sister. She told me this today, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know this happened to you. She was at work, and the police came to look for her. They ran into her boyfriend, and he called her on the phone, and the police talked to her, and they said, you're under arrest because of grand theft auto. You rented a car that you did not turn in. And she's like, I didn't rent a car. And she ended up having to go down to the station, and they showed her paperwork, and she's like, this is my signature on my driver's license, and this signature here doesn't match. Okay. The police ended up doing their investigation. They let my sister go. They did not arrest her, and they did their investigation, found out that somebody at the DMV helped someone get an ID that they should not have. But get this, they used my sister's information for the driver's license, but the picture wasn't even the picture of the person who was using it. Even the picture was stolen from somebody else. So this person made a completely fake ID with a fake picture of a real girl and fake information from a real girl, my sister, and put it on a driver's license. And this person was out renting cars and using this driver's license to do it. So the police went and arrested the girl that matched the picture. And she had to prove that it was not her also. So her and my sister ended up being absolved of it. They finally found the real girl. But this kind of stuff really happens, y'all. And all you can do is your best to make sure that you are looking. You paying attention to what's showing up on your credit. These are things that you need to know about. What article are you talking about, Joe Trigger? I have no problem sending you one. Okay. Let's see. BOI means no, it does not mean not body of individuals. It's business ownership information. Okay. And it's absolutely a lot of stuff going on. You know why? Because our information is out there. There's so much stuff out there in the public record that you cannot hide. You can't hide. Okay. Unfortunately, and people aren't redacting all your information like they should. Okay. It says, so true. I received a letter from my mortgage company. Somebody tried to refinance my house. I'm telling you, people are doing whatever, and they will steal the house right from up under your behind. Okay. So don't be just signing stuff to be. And another thing, if you have to sign something, don't sign something on a stack of paper. Why? Because your signature is now imprinted on that blank piece of paper, and people can turn around and trace that signature to put your signature on things that you didn't even sign. So you need to make sure you are signing on bare table, bear. Okay, period. Bear. We ain't writing nothing on top of nothing. You will be surprised that things that people will have you sign something on top of a receipt paper that so it has the carbon copy so that they can copy your signature. They're doing it, y'all. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that you probably never think about, but I want to put it in your head so that you can pay more attention, because this is what they're doing. This is exactly how a lady got her home stolen from her. Someone asked her to sign because they wanted to see her signature. Oh, girl, I heard you had a funny looking signature. Sign. Let me see how you sign. And she signed a blank page. That person took the blank page, got a notary, okay, got a real notary, and turned around and forged that lady's signature from her real signature onto her own deed and sold her house from up under her. And the only way she found out was when the real owners, well, because they did buy it, came and tried to put her out. Now they're in court because, you know, it's fraudulent, but the person did everything right to procure the house. Okay, so you guys have to be careful about where you put your information. We don't need to give them everything. They don't need all of it. Okay, they really don't. And it is sad. I think it is very, very sad that you feel like you can't trust anybody. But that's exactly how it is. It says someone got EDD in my name. And what's EDD? Your education loan? Another thing that I think you guys should do, and I hope that the IRS makes this mandatory, but I think everybody should have a not a P10, an IRS IP pin. And the IP pin is the pin that you have to receive from the IRS every year before you file your taxes, because if you submit your taxes without it, it's going to reject. Now, if you're a person that's on Social Security disability, it doesn't matter because you're not getting any money back anyway. But for those of you who have kids and you file and you probably done went to a couple places, you know, you ain't been with the same person for a very long time, you probably are one of those that I'm talking to. You need to get a P10. Now, no, you can't file early because IRS does not send that P10 out early. Okay. But at least you don't have to worry about somebody stealing your information, or at least get it on your kids, especially if you are fighting with the baby daddy. Okay. You got custody issues, put a P10 on that. Excuse me, P10. Put an IP pin on that child so that you can make sure that you're the only one that's filing. And I'm telling you, people who do it fraudulently are actually filing it and removing the right from the parent to claim their own child. Fraudsters will do anything, especially when they can get a chunk of money and fast too. Okay. Yes, the world we're living in is only going to get worse. And that's exactly why I do what I'm doing with y'all now, because I want you guys to be aware that there are more things out there than a credit report. Okay. There's bank reports. There's the LexisNexis report. You know, there's Core Logic. There's lots of reports, but a lot of our information doesn't all go to the same place. I told you guys, make sure you request your Innovis credit report. Why? Because that is where you are going to see utilities. If someone tried to open up a utility, you stand the chance of seeing the actual inquiry from the utility there than you will on your regular credit reports. Y'all remember I told you I had an address that I found that came on my credit report that wasn't mine? As soon as I saw that, I went and all I saw was an address. And I'm thinking, if an address pops up on my credit, that means somebody had to run my credit for it to come on there, because there's no other way for it to show up on my credit report. What happened was, I found out what happened. USAA did a soft inquiry for someone to get insurance, and because they did that and they were associated with me, it came up on my credit report as a new address, even though it was not me. I had no knowledge of it. So if you guys are seeing stuff that does not belong to you, don't be a victim and let that stuff stay on your credit. Not at all. All right. You don't have to, and you can address it right away. It says also check out your deeds. That's true. Make sure you check those deeds. States, not states, only one state, and that is Florida. Florida is the only state that I see that you can put an alert on your deed so that if anybody tries to do anything, you will know. And Florida has it separated by county. Every other state in the United States, I have not seen people do it. And this is why people are losing their homes. Okay. So if you are a homeowner, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and go and check your property records to make sure that you still have the deed in your name, because you only get notice about your property taxes once a year. Okay. So that means they got 12 months to get you. And you only going to find out in one of those months. And you're going to find out at the first month of the year. Okay. You done lived your life. You got all the rest of the time to go. And you don't even know that somebody done sold your house from up under you. And it is very difficult and costly, because you're going to have to get an attorney to get that house back. Okay. All right. Letitia says, how do you get an old address off of your credit report? You cannot remove an old address off of your credit report unless you remove the account that put it there. So if something, you have to find out what put the address there. That is what I did. When I found the address on my credit report, I knew the only way to remove it, and this is a trick for y'all. The only way you're going to remove an address from your credit report is you have to remove the source. So if that address came from an inquiry, the inquiry has to be removed, and then the address will be removed. They don't remove the address first because the address came from something that's on your credit. In my situation, that inquiry didn't even show up on my credit. I had to go and do the digging, and it was a soft inquiry, and it came on there. So the insurance company said, "Oh well, this must be where they're living now, so we're gonna put that address on there." And they removed it because I sure called them and said, "This is not me. Take it off of my credit." So if you got something on your credit, even if it's a misspelling of your name, you got to figure out. And this is why this is why I tell y'all you need to get a paper copy of your credit report, because guess what? You're not going to see how it came onto your credit without seeing the paper copy, because the paper copy will show you. The paper copy will show you, especially when you have addresses, it'll show you. It'll say item 1.23-76.92. And then you look on your credit report and you find that number. And then that number is telling you that number and add that address go together. So if you want to remove stuff like that, you're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to get a paper copy. And now I told y'all what y'all got to do. Remember, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Y'all don't get me in trouble, but you can call annualcreditreport.com. They do have an 800 number, and you can certify, let me cross my fingers, you can certify that you have a visual impairment. Okay, not saying you're blind, but you're saying you have visual impairment of some sort, and you need your hard copies. Now, isn't it a shame that we have to say that we are practically going blind to get a damn copy of our paper report? You know why? Because the credit bureaus make it almost impossible. Remember, they used to send them to you. They used to send them to you when you requested it. When you got denied for credit, they would send you a copy. Now they don't. Now it's all digital. And the reason that they're doing it is not because they don't want to print no paper. It's because if you see the full report, you will have the keys to what it is that you need to do to clean your credit. But when you see it online, you miss a lot because they don't put it on there. Okay. So annualcreditreport.com. Let me just cross these fingers. You're going to have to certify that you have a visual impairment. And they will send you all 3 copies, or however many one you want, 1, 2, or 3 copies from the bureaus. They'll send them to you. I mean, they'll send you 1 bureau, 2 bureau, 3 bureaus. But, do what you want, but you ain't going to see them. Okay. And you can't even pay for them to be sent to you. If you try to go to any one of those credit bureaus websites, they're going to continue to give you the electronic version. And even if it's PDF to print, it's still not going to be the same as actually getting the hard copy, because they are set up a certain way. Because everything on that actual credit report from the credit bureau has to show where the information came from, where the addresses came from. Things connect. But when you're doing it the way they want you to, they don't connect. And then you stuck sending out dispute letters and or paying people $5,000 to clean your credit when you could clearly do it yourself. Okay. All right, good, Letitia. I hope you did it the way I said. Okay, thank you. Letitia said, "Jules from the Go." Oh, thank you. I wish I would. I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying. Okay, let me see what y'all saying. I know it's 8. Okay, it's 8:12. So let me see what y'all saying, and I'm gonna let you go. Okay. Okay, you printed yours off. It was 63 pages. Remember, printing your credit report is not the one you want. I hate that you printed all them pages. What you need to do is get them to send you their version, not the printed copy, because the printed copy will not have everything. I promise you, it will not. Okay. The printed copy is nothing but a PDF version of what you're seeing electronically. But remember, when you get credit reports from Equifax and TransUnion and Experian, they're this way. Y'all know when we look at the paper, we look at it this way, top to bottom. Theirs goes left to right, and you flip on pages. They have it on double sided. That's the one you want, and you can't print that. That is what they have to send to you because they don't want to send you that version anymore. And I wonder why. Okay. All right. Your bank report. Nope, you cannot print that off unless they're making it printable. Your bank reports have to be ordered. If y'all notice, anytime you want to do something for you, you want to see the information they have about you. It's so difficult for you to get a copy of the true report. They want to give you the watered down copy. I don't want a watered down copy. Even with LexisNexis, I do not want that printable one that they make. Give me the copy. Give me the old copy that y'all used to have. Now, LexisNexis may not change it, but the credit bureau still have the old version. When it comes to your bank credit reports, they send those to you in the mail as well. Okay. So you don't, the only one that I necessarily probably wouldn't care so much about is LexisNexis because you're probably not going to win that one. But the credit bureaus, they have a responsibility to send it to you. And they said on their website, they will send you the real copy if you have cross them fingers again, a visual impairment. Okay. So do what y'all got to do, but make sure you get you a copy and you will be shocked at the stuff you're going to see. Because you're going to be like, oh my God, you're going to see all your soft inquiries that you didn't know. You're going to see how many, if you got Capital One, especially if y'all got Capital One, you're going to see that Capital One check your damn credit every single month without fail. Every month. Why? Because they want to see if you're screwing off on somebody else and not paying them so they can hike that interest rate or lower your credit limit. Capital One is a beast. They check every month faithfully. Okay. But that kind of stuff you ain't going to see on Credit Karma. But go and get that real report. You're going to see. Okay. I want to claim American Opportunity Credit. Do I need the IP pin? No, you do not. You just need to have your 1098-T from the school. It says, where on the website do you get the hard copy? They keep asking for online. See? Okay. So what you do is you have to go to the down to the bottom, and you're going to see where you have to order one if you have a visual impairment. They're not going to give you the opportunity to order it any other way. But there's an 800 number on the annual credit reports website. Matter of fact, I can, you know what? I'll just do a TikTok video showing y'all where to go. But it is on the homepage. Scroll all everything. Remember, you always scroll to the bottom because that's where all the about us, that's all the stuff where the company puts their information at the very bottom in small print. But there's an 800 number that you can call and say that you have a visual impairment, and you will get your 3 hard copies. You need those, guys. I'm telling you. And then if you get them and y'all want me to do a class, I will show you how to read those so you can remove these things from your credit yourself. That is why they don't give them to you, because they don't want you guys to have no credit freedom. Okay. Now, before I go, a couple things. Tax season hasn't started yet. Anybody's interested in starting their own tax business, you know to hit me up so we can teach you some taxes, so we can get you going so that you will be able to at least have a tax business for a while before the computers take over. Okay. Second thing, if you got issues with your credit and you want to talk about it, hit me up. I do consultations, but a lot of y'all reach out to me anyway, and I ain't gonna tell you no. I'm gonna help you out because I want you to be straight. So make sure you hit me up if you want to do a credit consultation. But here is something that happened to me today, and I wanted to wait to the end to see how many people want to be here. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I had my first interview. There was a news paper in Japan. Okay. Okay, look at your girl. Okay. So they are the largest news paper in Japan for businesses, and they were doing an article on credit and the impact that it's had on people and their finances. And I got an email the other day asking me would I be willing to be a contributor to the story, and of course I did it. I did my interview today. So when that comes out, bam bam, you know I'm gonna put it. But I just want to say thank you to you guys, for all your support. And if it wasn't for you guys, I would not even be doing this, what I do. So thank you. And God said he gonna make me international, because Japan, they don't do credit like we do. Okay. I hate to say it, but in a lot of ways I feel like they're laughing at us. Okay. Because people over here struggling when we don't have to. But the reason we struggle is because people gatekeep and don't tell you things, because they only want the rich people to stay rich and everybody else to stay poor. It makes more money when you are poor and struggling, and I can charge you a lot of interest on these high interest rates for these credit cards, than actually educating you on how to fix it. And then everybody has low interest rates. Nobody, they don't want that. Okay. But we don't care what they want. If that's what you want, then there's something you can do about that. Okay. So thank y'all very, very much. If y'all want to know what paper it is, y'all can I don't want to spell it wrong, but I did look it up for myself to see if it was legit, and it's legit. So when I get the copy, the link, the article goes live, I will definitely put it up on TikTok. But I just want to say thank you, because this is a success. This is a win for all of us here, because the more people take notice, the more time and free time I have to get this type of information out to you guys, where I can do this more than just on Mondays. Okay. Because I actually want to turn this into a regular news, where you can get good news instead of bad news all the time. And if you do get bad news, to teach you how you can turn something bad into a positive to work for you and your family. Okay. So I'm gonna see what y'all say again. If you guys want to get in touch with me, you got any questions, I do have a website, shamikasaves.com. All you gotta do is drop me a line. As soon as I get off of there, I'm gonna soon y'all, I know y'all gonna be messaging me, so I'm gonna message y'all back. If you want a link, or you got more questions about anything I talked about tonight, let me know. If you want to do a consultation, whatever it is, you want to drop a tip, let your girl know. Okay. Again, I appreciate y'all. I want to see if y'all had anything that I missed. I don't believe so. And thank y'all. And then again, I just give I give it to God, because I didn't think this is something that I wanted to do. I always knew a lot of stuff, but I never knew I could find a platform to be able to use it. And I wouldn't be able to use my platform if it wasn't for you guys needing this information. So thank you for receiving what I give and appreciating what I do. So God bless you all. I will see you guys next Monday. Again, we got all week to talk. If y'all got any questions or issues about anything, okay? And I'm going to keep going out here doing my thing and making content for you guys. And remember, child tax credit may not pass, okay? We're going to focus on what numbers we got right now. And in the event that it does pass, I will tell you how you're going to get your extra money, okay? Because I know at the end of the day, that's all you care about, okay? So love you all. Take care. See you next week. Okay? Bye.